Hi, welcome to the Online Jewelry Academy. I'm Professor John Ahr and I'm your instructor. In this video, I'm going to show you how to assemble a beautiful bracelet like this one here. Now, this one utilizes S-hooks and wire-wrapped beads in cages, as well as a wire-wrapped clasp. Now, in a previous video entitled Forging Copper Wire into a Linked Bracelet, I created this bracelet back here. So in that video, I demonstrated how to make the S-hooks and the wire-wrapped hook on the end. So you may want to watch that video for instruction on how to create both of those items. Also, there's another previous video that's entitled Creating Red and Green Patinas on Copper Jewelry. And in that video, I used this same bracelet to demonstrate how to get the various colors that I have here, the red and green patinas. Now, let me show you the tools and supplies that I'm going to use in order to create the wire-wrapped beads. First, I've got some 18-gauge copper wire. I also have forming pliers, round nose pliers, a half-round file, square nose pliers, chain nose pliers, and diagonal cutters. Now, whenever you're working with wire, it's always important to wear eye protection so that you don't poke yourself in the eye. Now, all of the tools and supplies that I have here are included in the description to this video with Amazon links so that you can buy tools that are comparable to mine. Okay, so let's get started. I'm going to wrap this bead to make a connection between these two S-hooks that will then be joined to this wire-wrapped hook. So let's talk about how we're going to make this wire wrap. First thing is I'm going to need about 5 inches of wire to wrap that bead. So I'll just measure out roughly 5 inches and cut it off. I recommend that as you work, be sure to be conscious of the ends of your wire. You don't want to have anything that pokes you or might poke your client. Remember, as I like to say, 2 things in jewelry and lovemaking, you never want to hear the word ouch. Okay, so I'm going to pick up my round nose pliers and I'm going to put the end of the wire right into the jaws of the plier and I'm going to give it a full complete turn to create a loop. And then I'm going to immediately go to the other side of the wire and I'm going to loop towards the interior of the wire the exact same way on the other side. So you might say that I have the evil waxed mustache on. That's a good way of remembering how to initiate the cage. Okay, once you've looped both ends of these wires, you can now switch to your flat nose pliers. And what you do is you just pinch and hold the loop and then just push the wire around that loop to start actually coiling the wire like a snake laying in the grass, just like that. Okay, and you want to do it equally on both sides. By the way, I am working with well annealed wire so that it does take the bend very nicely. Okay, so when you're at this point, where you have the most evil mustache in the world in your hands, then what you want to do is you just want to cross the two by continuing to just roll them one on top of the other, just like that. Now, what we're going to do is we're going to impose a connection that's a wire wrap connection through the bead. But first we have to open this up and insert our bead, which is really easy to do. All you need to do is just take a pair of pliers and you're going to grab that innermost ring and start to pull it up. Just give it a little tug and it should start to spiral out. Okay, then just turn to the other side and do the same thing on the other side. You're just going to pull out that innermost coil. And what you have is what looks like a tapered spring almost. Well, now you're ready to insert your bead. All you need to do is just give it a little bit of a bend, just like you would like a jump ring. You're not going to open it up like this. You're going to open it like this. Put your bead in, and then just shut it down. And you can compress the wire cage around the bead, and you can smooth it and make it as gorgeous as you want in any direction. Okay, but we're not done working with it yet. So I'm going to set that down for a minute. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to create the connector. And this is just a simple wire wrap. So I'm just going to cut a random length of wire, not too long, maybe about 3 or 4 inches. And the first thing that I want to do is I want to take my round nose pliers and I'm going to make a loop, just like I would initiate making the ear wire on this earring here. And if you don't know how to make that French ear wire, we have a video on it. You can check our playlist on our website. It's under the earring project section. So first of all, what I want to do is I'm going to grab the longer end of the wire and hold it. And on the other end, I'm just going to make a loop. I just turn that loop like so. Then I'm going to pinch where the wire touches itself, pulling the longer end up. And I essentially either have an L on a unicycle, or I don't know what else you can imagine it to be. All right, at this point what I want to do is I want to pinch across the loop and just wrap the short end around the long end of the wire. I only need to go around once. Now if it's too short, let me show you a little trick. Just keep pinching it, take your flat nose pliers, and then just use them like very strong little baby fingers. And then you can bring the wire around. Once you've got it over to the other side where you want it, just clip off that little end with your diagonal cutters, and you can just push that end in so nobody gets hurt. Okay, so now it looks like you have a little noose on the end of a long rope. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm now going to take the long end of the wire and I'm going to push my bead around until the whole of the bead lines up with the gaps on either end. There we go. Voila. So I have the bead now over a loop that's holding it. So I just need to make a loop on the other end so that it can be connected to the rest of the bracelet. It's really easy to do. All you need to do is take your rosary pliers or your round nose pliers, pinch just a little bit, like into the jaws of the pliers, give it a bend, then turn the angle of your pliers like so, stay in that little corner, and then bring the wire over the top, pull out, step up, sweep under the bottom. So now you have a loop, and then all you need to do is pinch across that loop and make another turn around the long end of the wire and clip off the excess. So basically what you did is you put pajamas on your bead, you wrapped it up nice and snug, and then you gave it ears. The rest of the assembly is really easy. All you need is to pick up your round nose pliers, and the first thing that you want to do is, because we put these beautiful ends on our S-hooks, we're just going to open one up. Let me go with, this one. And then I'm just going to slide my connector over it and onto the S-hook. You can open up the S-hook if you like, just like you would a jump ring. And then I just push it back together and close the little flute again. It's nice and secure there. Then I just repeat the process on the other side. I'm just going to open up that flute, slide the wire through, close the little flute again. So you have a beautiful S-ring, wrapped bead S-ring. And now I could just want to put on the wire wrapped cage. That's really easy too. All I do is just open up the S-ring, bring it on, and close it. And that's how I assemble my beautiful S-hook bracelet with the wrapped beads. Now in a subsequent video, I'm going to show you an alternative clasp for this same bracelet. It's a little bit more dimensional and adds a little bit of beauty to your piece. So I think you'll like that one too. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up and don't forget to press the button in the lower right-hand corner and become a subscriber. Remember that the Online Jewelry Academy regularly posts to Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. Thanks for watching.